Last time on Let's Play Mega Man X4 in the X playthrough. Everyone in this story is a complete idiot. I wonder who his commanding officer could be. There's some conspiracy fuel. I'll bet you two have replaced the proverbial tires with the proverbial balloons and X6. Just try and rob a bank or something like that. I am the walrus. I think they're communists. Was he trying to say John is Paul? Guess they're not the Eggman anymore. Repliforce decides to escape
to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism.
Here's another clue for you all. The walrus was Paul. And now the continuation.
Space. Wanna go to space. Wanna go to space. Space. Wanna go to space. Wanna go to space. Go to space. Space. Let's go to space. Let's go to space. I love space. Love space.
But before we go to space, I have to return to Frost Walrus's stage because I missed a sub-tank like a dumbass. Anyway, this is the Mississippi King. That's a hell of an introduction. Welcoming y'all back to more Let's Play Mega Man X4 in the X playthrough, and this is such a short trip that, I may as well just leave it all in, and there's no point to, editing it out. But anyway, yeah, we're going to space, but first I have to pick up the upgrades that I missed, the first being that one in Frost Walrus's stage, which I have no excuse for that. I was just being stupid, or stupoid, as a Nintendo Capri Sun may say. But back to this video, though. I'm actually going to show some of this trip in Web Spider's stage. In the last episode, we defeated the remaining Mavericks, which includes Paul. I mean Frost Walrus, but the walrus is Paul. In this episode, before we head to
the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!
I may as well show off the Frost Tower. It's actually a decent weapon. It's maybe it's not quite as bad as I said it was, but you can charge it up and it spawns these massive pillars that fall down towards enemies. My problem with it is mainly just that it's just so short-ranged. It feels like if you need to use it not charged up, you'd be too close to avoid taking damage. We'll also fight Buster Simkus later in this episode. Buster Simkus is such a funny sounding name. And the heart tank that I didn't pick up in Web Spider's stage, that one's actually perfectly intentional. That's not because I was being stupid. I just decided to, save this for backtracking. It's one that, I knew about as I was going through this stage. It's just, you need the Rising Fire in order to get it. But now it's time to move on to the first of the last set of stages, Spaceport. And this is actually a fantastic stage because, it's just so perfectly designed for X's weapons, and Zero's techniques for that matter. Although, again, as I've said before, I do prefer playing as X. These stages are very enjoyable. This one in particular feels like it was designed, they placed enemies in positions that would be difficult to attack without your special weapons, so it's made to make use of your weapons. This is what I mean about the weapons being so great. It's not just that they're good on their own, it's that often the game is designed in a way that makes you want to use them. So I will fight anyone who says this game has a bad set of weapons. Sure, not all of them are great, but the ones that are really good. I just don't understand why a lot of people just don't like this game's weapons. But, speaking of, greatness, that's not exactly the best transition, but the music to this stage is also fantastic. It's got this great sense of urgency, and I like how it doesn't resort to like butt rock or something like that. It has this right tone to it, and again it strikes this great balance of sounding heroic and sounding cool. But anyway, the boss to this stage is, of course, the Colonel, and he has nobody who writes to him, and as such, we gotta fight him for that. It should be noted, however, that the Colonel is not, and was never, in fact, at any point, Buster Simkus. That comes later. We'll find out more about Buster Simkus later. Yeah, that's a real funny name. And, in fact, the Colonel isn't even Bat Boy. That's someone else entirely. Don't get the two mixed up. Bat Boy, the movie, featuring Bat Boy, with Buster Simkus, starring the Weekly World News as Bat Boy's son. Again, I'm not sure how an entire publication can be one person, but I mean, I guess it's the entertainment industry. Anything goes in that sphere. I bet a lot of people at this point are probably wondering who is Buster Simkus and Bat Boy. And to that I say, well, Google is your friend, people. Okay, maybe not really, but still, use it. Colonel, step back.
I'll stop anyone who tries to interfere with our independence.
Enough of this.
It's only an illusion. You hunters will never be able to understand us. Get ready, X.
I've been waiting to fight with you.
As for who will be Bat Boy, I mean, really there's no equivalent in this game, but I mean, I guess the closest equivalent to Bat Boy, and this is a stretch, would be someone else later, the next boss that we'll fight, in fact. And this fight with the Colonel, by the way, is pretty cool. It's very fun, and it's great dodging his attacks. He's weak to the Frost Tower, so be sure to take advantage of that. He's pretty easy, if you ask me. This fight just feels so snappy and fast-paced. It just feels like a decent bit of fun.
Impressive, but it's too late.
What?
The Rebel Force already left for space. I'm beaten, but the Rebel Force will never perish. The Reploid's nation will be born in the vastness of space.
Colonel! So, he's dead. And, with his death, we move on to the next stage. Now, there's something kind of interesting with the next boss, because, well, I'm not going to spoil it, but let's just say that it's a boss that is unique to X, and as such, I decided to record the English voice lines for this particular boss, and it's basically the only instance of this, because, like, he's unique to the X playthrough, and it makes more sense to include his voice lines here anyway. So let's head straight into it. The very next stage. Now, this cutscene's gonna reveal whom we're fixing to fight. It kind of caught me off guard at first, but it's kind of obvious with his name at least. Yeah, once again, the voice acting's terrible, because of course it is. That's a running theme in the Mega Man series. There are more instances of bad voice acting, at least I think so, with the Mega Man series. Or rather, it's more that the series tends to have a pretty hit-and-miss track record when it comes to voice acting. This ain't one of the hits, folks. It's rather infamous. I don't even think it's the worst so far. Like, I think Mega Man 8 is way worse in that regard. Its voice acting is rather laughable, whereas in this it's laughable, but it's also not, like, highly questionable. Anyway, now it's time for the top 5 jokes about this scene.
Number 5.
Why aren't they allowed in? Were they even a risk to begin with? They don't show any motivation to go to space. Why not just kill the repairman while you're at it? Don't take that out of context, Internet.
Number 4.
Don't mind all the screaming in the background, it's all good. I promise. Would I lie to you? Do I sound like someone untrustworthy? Don't be ridiculous.
Number 3.
You know, I'd make fun of Double for being a klutz, but I'm really not any better. This is my life. Tripping over everything. It's a miracle I haven't broken anything yet. Wait, what were we talking about again?
Number 2.
Oh, everything's fine. I'm just fixing to go Super Saiyan on your ass and murder everything in sight. You know, the usual.
Number 1.
On the next episode of Dragon Ball Z, Goku continues to power up. But, yeah, that's really all for that scene. So, next we're heading straight to this next stage, which I guess since this is in space, I may as well just title this episode The Ark in Space, cause, yeah, I guess the theme for this playthrough is just subtitle everything in the X playthrough as a reference to Doctor Who. I mean, it's definitely a first for me. It's not like I've done that before. I really haven't made many Doctor Who references, but I actually do enjoy the series. I haven't, like, kept up with it in a while, though. I should probably get on to that, but anyway, it's time to get into the fight with the Double at last. So here we are at Fat Boy Slim, because he turns slim, you see. Double, what? Why are you here?
Hee hee hee. Ha 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 ha. The Mavericks, Hunters, and Rebel Force idiots. All of them. They're making my job too easy.
What are you talking about? Double, what are you saying?
Think it over in heaven. Die, X!
You're gonna get hurt, X. I'm so anxious to rip you apart. I'm gonna recycle you.
That's nice. He's going to recycle X. He may be a killer robot and all of that, but at least he's environmentally conscious. He's gonna recycle X, which shows that he's not that bad. In fact, he actually has a heart after all. Even though he's shouting things like evil slash and destroy. Double.
Damn. How could I lose to a weakling like you?
Double, tell me, why did you do this?
Hee hee hee. Ha ha ha. You're so naive, X. I was sent as a spy from the very beginning to keep an eye on you.
Double, I trusted you.
Ha 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 ha. That naiveness may be a fatal flaw. Goodbye, X. See you in the afterlife.
Double! Afterlife in that context is one word. It's another typo. I keep ragging on this game, but really it's hardly the worst offender in that regard. So yep, Double was a double agent. and his weakness is the double cyclone. Clever. But anyway, he also has very corny battle lines in that fight, like evil slash or stuff like that. It's rather ridiculous if you ask me, but yeah, that's a bit funny, his voice lines there, a bit ridiculous, and Double's not really much of an eventful character. He didn't really add much to this story, to tell you the truth. So his reveal to be a spy is not as impactful as the game seems to think. Also, he's a Super Saiyan. Just felt that was worth mentioning. And this stage actually features two separate routes after the fight earlier. And I actually take a different route in the Zero playthrough, so I'm actually not going to, show the alternate route in this playthrough. That's for the Zero playthrough. So it's time to fight Buster Simkus. Yep, it's Buster Simkus who's the star of this show. Just look up Buster Simkus if you don't know who that is. General, what are you planning to do?
We're going to build a nation for the Reploids. That's our ultimate goal. We'll fight anyone who tries to interfere with our independence.
There must be alternatives to this mindless fighting.
We were called Mavericks without justifiable reason. What other choice did we have than to fight?
But
it's too late now. Get ready, X.
Show me your true power.
So, y'all a bunch of idiots, you know? You know that the Repliforce is not responsible for the Sky Lagoon incident, yet somehow everyone just continues to blame them for that, and the Repliforce just refuses to comply for some reason. That's kind of strange. This is not a very good story, folks. But yeah, Buster Simkus, because he's so big, that's why I'm calling him that. He's a very easy fight as X. He's a little more tricky with the Zero, but yeah, that's all for the fight, folks. And the story of this game just isn't that smart or good. It just kind of lacks conviction. It lacks commitment to particular themes. And it gets even worse in the next episode. They address fascism and nationalism, but they don't really address what that entails. What? What happened?
It can't be. The weapon must be malfunctioning.
General, what do you mean?
Someone else is controlling it. You must hurry, X. The Earth is in danger.
Alright, I'll stop the weapon myself. Weapon that puts the Earth in danger? We'll tear into that later, but for now, this is the Mississippi King signing out. In the next episode, we'll beat the game, folks. See y'all then for the finale of Let's Play Mega Man X4 in the X playthrough.